Here we are at the top trail intersection at Wildside. This run we're going to take a look at two green trails. The first one we're going to pick up right from where we are, Queen Jolie, or Jolene, I guess. And then when that comes down to the second intersection, we'll take a hard left to get on Chicken of the Woods. And that one does run all the way down to the base camp at the bottom. So this would be a nice contrast to view with the other video that has the black into blue into black toward the bottom. And we will pick up our green right there. And here's the entrance for Queen Jolene. I'm going to take this down to the next trail intersection and then pick up another green. And I do want to make sure I get a good flavor of these green trails, because I do think that based on all the kind of capital investment they've made here and the amenities and their investment in quite a bit of green trail, this park is probably an ideal place for a brand new rider. There's the shuttle going by. Or first time downhill rider. And if you saw my other video, that trail intersection we just passed was where Whippoorwill comes into this green trail as it connects over to the trail split for the rest of Whippoorwill, which is being ridden down there, as you can see. And so we're going to stay left and get a nice full dose of the green trail flavor here. And as you would expect, pretty wide. It is bench cut with a fair amount of exposure. So a brand new rider will probably be maybe a little anxious with, you know, these trail edges, particularly if they don't feel like they have decent bike control. But the trail surface itself is very forgiving. Nice and smooth. Occasional turns and berms like this, but it doesn't really push too hard into acceleration. And the thing with this trail is that if you are an intermediate rider and you try to attack this thing, there really isn't enough support in most of the corners to hold any real speed. So it is a properly rated green trail, not something that an intermediate rider is really gonna hit more than once, because there's just not a lot that you can kind of override and, you know, find some fun or excitement in it, like you can on some green trails that I've seen at other parks. So here's the next trail intersection, and as I mentioned when we were looking at the map, we're going to just take a hard left, hit a U-turn here, and grab Chicken of the Woods all the way down to base camp. And you can see it again running across the ledge over there. Really mild. There is actually a little bit of climbing to be done here. Not much, but a little bit of leg work. I'm gonna run this a little bit fast. Because we can hold a little bit of speed there, but then you have to watch it because there isn't support in those corners to really rail those turns. But as I said, for the brand new rider, these are the kind of trails you want. They provide a lot of consistency, a nice wide trail surface, a little bit of variety in terms of texture. You saw the little kind of whoops back there. Just gives a different feel, because of course, once you get off green trails and you want to start trying some intermediate things, you're certainly going to need to be comfortable with those ups and downs and some of the kind of steeper little bits. There aren't a lot of opportunities on this trail though to get used to riding berms, which is one of the potential downfalls of this set of trails. Because I find that when I'm working with a brand new rider, particularly someone who hasn't ridden a lot of downhill, learning how to handle berms usually takes quite a bit of work. There's just something about it, if you're not used to riding them, that just really feels unnatural at first. Then of course, I think like most bike handling skills, once you do it a few times correctly and you kind of get that feeling to click in your head, berms get to be a lot of fun and something you probably end up looking forward to rather than being afraid of. This is another little bit where a newer rider who's starting to get comfortable can experiment with a little bit more speed, which is a very important aspect of getting to be better, is riding a trail a little bit faster and a little bit faster, so you can grow in very small increments rather than riding green trail slow and then immediately trying to flip a switch and ride intermediate trails or blue trails at a speed that's twice what you're used to. So that section back there, I think, is a really good kind of growth opportunity for someone who's getting used to speed and even some small berms we saw back there. But it is a really nice long trail. So that is a great advantage for a newer rider. They can have a really long, consistent experience with a few opportunities to kind of stretch out, go a little faster maybe. Really supports that learning process. And here we are pulling into base camp. So quite long trail. I'll probably edit some of it out just because the trail consistency doesn't really require watching that entire thing, but gives a really good flavor of some quality green trails for brand new riders or newer riders that are trying to take some nice warm-up laps and start to grow their bike handling abilities.